It weighed nearly 2 tons. It was so over-engineered that accountants at Mercedes begged the engineers to stop, and it earned the nickname Der Panzer, the tank. This is the Mercedes W140 S-Class, one of the most ambitious and unapologetic luxury cars ever built. Launched in 1991, the W140 wasn't just a car. It was a statement, a rolling fortress that announced to the world, "I have arrived." At a time when BMW and Lexus were snapping at Mercedes' heels, Stuttgart responded with something so bold, so technologically advanced, that it made everything else look outdated overnight. This was luxury at its absolute peak. Double-pane windows that silenced the outside world. Soft-closed doors that pulled themselves shut like magic. Power everything, from seats to mirrors to even the headrests. In the early 90s, it felt like alien technology. But what really stood out was the size. The W140 was massive, nearly 2 meters wide, over 5 meters long, and with the kind of road presence that made politicians, royalty, and yes, even dictators order them in fleets. Pull up in a W140 and it wasn't subtle wealth, it was dominance. The squared-off design, thick body panels, and sheer stance made it feel indestructible. No wonder it earned the reputation as a tank, both in weight and in spirit. Of course, a tank needs an engine worthy of the badge, and the W140 delivered. At launch, you could spec everything from a straight 6 to a monstrous 6.0-liter V12 in the 600 SEL. That V12 made 408 horsepower and 580 newton-meters of torque, enough to push this luxury giant to 60 in about 6 seconds flat. 6 seconds may not sound earth-shattering today, but remember, this was the early 90s. You were moving over 2 tons of German steel faster than many sports cars of the era. And you were doing it in complete silence, thanks to the double-glazed windows and one of the best NVH packages ever engineered. Here's the thing. Mercedes lost money on the W140. It cost them over $1 billion to develop, an insane number at the time. Why? Because it was overbuilt in ways that bordered on obsessive. The wiring harnesses? They were biodegradable, made to be eco-friendly. But in practice, they failed and became a nightmare for owners. The electronics? Years ahead of their time, but brutally expensive to repair. But when everything worked, the W140 was unmatched. The suspension soaked up roads like they didn't exist. The interior felt like a bank vault with wood and leather that still looks classy today. Even the rearview mirrors had heating and memory functions in 1991. Some of its innovations were borderline sci-fi. Parking poles that rose out of the rear fenders before sensors existed. A self-closing trunk that gently sucked itself shut. Dual-pane windows to eliminate road noise. Automatic climate control with multiple zones. And perhaps the wildest? It was one of the first production cars to ever feature electronic stability control. Technology we take for granted today debuted on the W140. The W140 wasn't just a car, it was a cultural symbol. World leaders from Boris Yeltsin to Nelson Mandela rode in them. CEOs, celebrities, and anyone who wanted to project serious power bought one. And yes, it also became infamous as the car choice of dictators, mobsters, and anyone who wanted indestructibility with a hint of menace. Even Tupac Shakur's final ride was in a black W140 S-Class, cementing its place in history. But let's not forget, under all the weight and luxury, the W140 could move. The V8s had torque for days, and the V12 was buttery smooth, pulling from idle to redline without a hiccup. Handling? Predictably heavy, but composed. This wasn't a driver's car like a BMW 7 Series. It was a rolling throne, built to isolate you from the chaos outside. And yet, tuned examples exist. with owners fitting upgraded exhausts, suspension tweaks, and even turbocharging those giant V12. Few things are more ridiculous than watching a 2-ton German tank doing burnouts. Back in the 90s, a fully spec'd 600 SEL cost north of $140,000. That's over $250,000 in today's money. For Mercedes, it was proof that no expense was spared. For buyers, it was reassurance that they were buying the absolute peak of engineering. Today, the W140 is a cult classic. Enthusiasts hunt for clean V12 models, while the simpler straight sixes remain surprisingly affordable. But be warned, maintaining one is not for the faint of heart. Electronics fail, parts cost a fortune, and mechanics need PhDs to keep them alive. Still, for many, it's worth it. Because owning a W140 isn't just about having a car. It's about owning a piece of history. The Mercedes W140 was the last of an era, a time when Mercedes engineers were given blank checks to build the best car in the world, no matter the cost. It wasn't just luxury. It wasn't just speed. It was excess, ambition, and obsession, all forged into steel. That's why people still call it a tank, because nothing before or since has captured that same blend of power, durability, and unapologetic dominance. So here's the question. Was the W140 the greatest S-Class ever made? Or just the boldest?